What's going on, ladies and hyenas? Welcome back to the SHPODCAST, the number one SHPODCAST that you probably clicked on just a few seconds ago. I'm your host, Sumito Media, joined as always by my co-host, Andrew. How you doing, buddy?
Very good.
Good to hear. As always, remember to leave a like, subscribe, rate this 5 stars if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast. A bonus episode is live on the Patreon for every one of these episodes that you see. Today's episode, me and Andrew spent a ton of time talking about short form content and how we hide our southern accents. What a day.
What a day.
Andrew, how much money do you spend on lunch?
Oh, no. Actually, you know what? Probably not a lot. I generally end up only eating, like, breakfast kind of around noon and then dinner.
So there's a viral tweet that has gone viral. Good words, Samet. Everybody loves listening to you say the same thing twice. There's a tweet that has been going viral. It is an interview with Mr. Wonderful from the Shark Tank series. Kevin O'Leary.
I've seen this. Or I've heard the quote from him at least.
Titled, Kevin O'Leary says Gen Z is financially cooked when people making $70K a year are spending $28 on lunch. Now, to play devil's advocate and or provide the full context of what's being said here, Mr. Kevin O'Leary is basically saying that $30 on a lunch is crazy even if you're making $70,000 a year. That's an insane amount of money to be spending every day just on food, even if you're making $70K. And he feels like Gen Z, that is our generation, right, between the ages of 25 and 40 at this point maybe, are, no, like 30 and 45 at this point, are spending too much money eating out. And this was quote tweeted by somebody, which now has 10 million views, who says lunch just costs $28 now. Eating out for lunch, it isn't uncommon for it to be between 20 and 30 bucks. What are we saying? Are Gen Z just not supposed to eat lunch anymore? And this combination of what Kevin O'Leary stated about $28 lunches and this individual seemingly arguing that, you know, what else are you going to do, has led into an expansive conversation about the differences in how much things cost nowadays between Gen Zs and their boomer parents, and how much of it is a fault of their boomer parents. People have been debating about making a $3 sandwich from Aldi, Andrew. People are making the argument that the reason that you and I cannot afford a home nowadays is because we're spending, God knows, $20+ on lunch. And if we had just made a sandwich every day for the next 5 years and only eaten a sandwich for lunch, we might be saving upwards of $20 a day, which could be almost 10 grand a year, which could, what's $20 a day? $365, $7,000 a year. And if we did that for a measly 10 years of just sandwiches for lunch, we could have $70,000, which would still not be enough to buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on this, Andrew?
Kevin O'Leary's a fucking moron.
But he's a millionaire. Surely he does everything right.
I am more than fairly certain him and pretty much all of the other Shark Tank people became billionaires because of just like a lucky deal they happened to make or some shit.
You're telling me working harder
like
doesn't make
luck
you...
from what I remember. But Kevin O'Leary owns one restaurant, the Blue Bovine Steak Plus Sushi House in Toronto. The average price, like meal price per person, is about $100.
That doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you're expecting
Steaks
people to
are
spend
starting around $80 to $130 for standard cuts.
If you're expecting people to spend $100 on dinner, but then you're, you know, arguing that the reason that they're poor is that they're spending $30 on lunch, something's not adding up.
$23 per sushi roll.
This has been a topic that has been kicked back and forth a number of times, and it's the number of people that are commenting under this that are like out of touch boomers are what I find more interesting. Obviously, for the most part, I don't think too many people are sitting around going, yeah, you should spend $30 on lunch and not feel bad about it. I mean, that's what it costs to eat out nowadays.
Yeah.
But the more overarching conversation is more around the fact that things cost money. Things cost a lot of money here in America.
A lot of money.
One of the really fun conversations I've been seeing is people who are in other countries, China, Korea, Bangladesh, India, who talk about eating out for lunch and dinner every day. Every day. And it costs them the equivalent of like $5. You can get a proper lunch, proper dinner. It is not uncommon that in these countries where street food and the prices of food that you go out to eat are designed to be relatively inexpensive, can get away with spending not even $30 on an entire day of eating out. The issue is much more Western centric. It is the fact that when I was in high school, a burrito, you remember how much burritos were at Chipotle when you were in high school, Andrew?
No, I don't think I remember the Chipotle prices. I'd be more in
$7.25
tune with the Taco Bell menu, if I'm being
We'll
honest.
get into Taco Bell too.
Oh,
But
thank God.
$7.25 for a Chipotle burrito or burrito bowl if you got chicken, and I believe it was $8.25 if you got steak. It was $1 more. Do you know what a chicken bowl costs at Chipotle now? 10 years later,
I was gonna say, dare I ask?
I mean, I'll pull it up. It might be a little bit out of tune just because I'm on the East Coast. You know, the DC area is a little bit crazy, but
Yeah.
a chicken bowl at Chipotle. Happy Memorial Day, hyenas. It is officially what I consider the kickstart of summer. Oh, the summer vibes are nothing like it. Sitting by a grill, making hamburgers and hot dogs, lounging by the pool, long days, short, cool nights with some hot dogs, hanging out outside with sunscreen and beaches and hot dogs. That's what summer is all about. And one of the best things about summer is not having to wear a jacket anymore. Boy, do I love going outside in nothing but shorts and a t-shirt. And you guys can thank today's video sponsor for supplying you with those shorts and t-shirts. Into the AM is currently running their Memorial Day sale. Everything on their website, from their multi-packs to their graphic tees to their basics, are all between 40 and 70% off for Memorial Day. So if you guys want to stock up on some excellent clothes to get ketchup and mustard all over because you're too busy eating hot dogs, check out Into the AM or use my link down in the description to pick up some of their multi-packs. You can get 3, 6, 9 packs of plain tees, graphic tees. I'm just wearing like a plain t-shirt that's just got the logo on it. They've even got brandless stuff if you're into that. Shorts, clothing, you guys know them. They've been supporting the channel for the better part of like 2 or 3 years at this point. But some of the biggest sales that you're going to be seeing all summer are going on right now. So if you want to fill out your closet with some clothes that are going to be breathable, easy to dry because you got dunked in the pool because you weren't paying attention to your friends, you were too busy focusing on the hot dog you were eating, maybe it's just me, be sure to click my link in the description and get yourself some major discounts with today's video sponsor, and know that you're supporting the channel all at the same time. Happy summer, hyenas. Thank you in advance. There's a map that shows all Chipotle prices, organized by green and yellow dots to let me know how much it is. So an order of chicken al pastor, which I don't want to do because the chicken al pastor is one of the bonus things. Just chicken. Here we go. I can change it. What a nice map this person made. So if you just get chicken, a bowl of chicken at Chipotle will run you $9.42 up to a maximum of $11.50. So on average, $11, $11 for a chicken bowl at Chipotle. Now, if you get steak, if you get chicken al pastor, if you get guacamole, if you do anything other than the single cheapest thing you can get at Chipotle, which I would argue should be considered, we're looking at $15. We're looking at $13, $15 for a bowl at Chipotle. That is damn near double the price.
Almost double.
Do you remember how
Don't
much?
even get me started on the single burgers or McChickens at McDonald's, dude. The dollar menu does not exist anymore. That is the $4 menu.
Without getting too woke, you know, economic, whatever, if the price of the food has doubled in 10 years, shouldn't the dudes at Chipotle be paid double?
No, that's just not how the economy works,
Just
dude.
based on that, if a Chipotle order goes from costing $8 with tax to $15 with tax, surely the guys working there shouldn't still be making $8 an hour, right? Or $10 an hour, right? Shouldn't they be making like 20?
No, but see, what you don't understand, Sumito, is that if we increase the wages for people, the prices of everything's going to go up.
But the prices already did go up, and the wages are still not going.
No, that's it's because we raised the minimum wage to $7.25 back in 2010 or whatever. That's why everything's. It's Obama's fault, really, that everything is as bad as it is.
Thanks, Obama.
Thank you, Obama.
What's a McChicken? What's a double cheeseburger cost at McDonald's back in the 2000s?
Dude, a double cheeseburger is genuinely over $5, I think.
No. Back in 2000.
Oh, back in 2000?
Both of those items and a 4-piece chicken nugget and 2 apple pies were all how much money, Andrew?
Double cheeseburger price, 2000, we'll say 2005. Generally between $1 and $1.25.
They were all dollar menu items. Here in the DC area, they were $1.09 with tax for the longest when I was in high school. Not only did the prices go up, but the double cheeseburger is not even a dollar menu item anymore. The double cheeseburger has been replaced with the McDouble, which has one less slice of cheese, and that replaced the double cheeseburger as the $1 cheeseburger option alongside the McChicken.
$3.50 to $6.19 depending on your location. In Anchorage, it's about $4.19.
And now, any one of those items, a McChicken or 4-piece nuggets or a McDouble, are $3.50. If you decide to use your McDonald's app to pick up one of those objects, you have to buy 2 actually. You can get 2 of them for $3.50 if I'm not mistaken. So once a day, if you use your app, which is effectively using a coupon, are you able to pick up these guys for about $2 versus the $3.50 that they cost if you were to just buy one. I'm trying to find it here, but why is it not in my app? Oh, because it's a meal deal, isn't it? Yeah. It's a meal deal. I got to go to a slightly different area. But those have doubled or tripled in price depending on if you're buying 1 or 2. Hash browns used to be 2 for $1. They are $3.50 each. 2 hash browns used to cost you $1. They will now run you $7. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's actually, dude, for fried potatoes.
That's what I'm saying.
What are we doing?
I'm not even pointing to people who are like, I gotta have a steak salad. I gotta have a whole, let's not get started on how much a foot-long Subway sandwich costs. But like, brother, do you remember how much a bean burrito used to be at Taco Bell?
Just the straight up bean burrito, that shit was like 79 cents or something, wasn't it?
It was nothing. Not only was it like 70, 80 cents, but like they had that little machine where you could drop in a quarter, and if you get it right, you get it for the price of the quarter you spent. Which, you spend enough time at a Taco Bell, maybe it costs you $5 in quarters, but eventually you could get all the bean burritos you want for a quarter. Me and my buddy used to do that all the time.
And you can buy a bag of potatoes for like between $2.50 and $6.
Exactly. How in God's fuck does
how is a hash brown costing $3.50?
Well, clearly
you can easily make at least 2 hash browns with 1 potato, probably, right?
Well, no. Obviously, a hash brown must cost 4 bags of potatoes, Andrew. I mean, that's what the math tells us. It takes 4 bags of potatoes to make a single hash brown.
I think that's probably how the math works out.
I've got another tweet here from an individual. This conversation has been going on like all week, Andrew. So some of these are related. Some of these are responses to arguments on arguments on arguments. We might be a little detached with this. But this individual states, if steak costs $5, boomers would tell you to put the rest in a 401k. If a steak costs $30, boomers would tell you to eat Taco Bell and then put the rest in a 401k. If Taco Bell were to cost $40, boomers would tell you to eat dog food and then put the rest in a 401k.
Yep.
It doesn't... The old world mentality of all you got to do is throw money into savings if you want to be able to afford a house.
Save your pennies.
And no matter what the buying power of $5 is at your local food venue, you should only be buying $5 worth of food. And the rest of it should be put into these things. And the comparisons are infuriating when you take a look at what it is. The numbers that I have seen, getting a university degree used to cost 15% of an annual income at the time. 15%, meaning you could pay your way through college while working a part-time job. You probably wouldn't have a ton of extra money, but you would graduate with 0 student loans because you worked at the bar 3 or 4 nights a week or whatever it is, right? Now, the average college degree is costing people upwards of 70% of an annual income. 70%, which means if you are working a full-time job while working through college, assuming that, you spend more than 30% of your income on affording to live, you are almost definitely graduating with debt, despite the fact that you are working full-time in college. You are working 5 days a week, you are taking night classes or going to your classes on weekends, and your college degree is costing you, what was at George Mason for the 2 semesters I went before I dropped out, I think a credit was like $1,800 in state.
Insane.
So if you're a full-time student, which I think is 12 credits, I always only took like 8 because I also had to work. I was paying like, what is the math? Like 15 grand a semester with parking and books and everything. I remember one of my first semester in, I only took 6 or 7 credits. And I think my total thing that I had to pay was $8,500. $8,500 for one semester. You have to do that twice a year if you want to graduate on time. We're talking $16,000. For 4 years, if you want to get a bachelor's degree, we're talking $60,000 in state. Wait, 30? 60? Yeah. 60 grand. I feel like I remember the number off the top of my head was 35 grand. So my numbers are off somewhere. You know what it is? I only needed 3 years because I went to community college. So fuck me.
Gotcha.
Fuck me for going to community college. I only had to do 3 years. If I had done a full 4 years, we'd be looking at 60 grand. I don't know about you, but it's fucking hard to make $60,000 a year while in school. You know what I mean? If nothing else, you're working 40 hours a week. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I remember my cousin talking about getting her law degree and saying that her semester cost was $800 a semester. $800 a credit. Sorry, a credit. $800 a credit. A full course load was running her $7,000 in law school. In law school. She graduated a year early and her total expenditures in college was under $30,000 to get a law degree.
And where was this?
This was in Wisconsin. She went to Madison, but she's 20 years older than I am, so 30 years ago.
Ah, that makes more sense.
You know what I mean? But that's boomer age, right? That's boomer age. It costs you nothing to get a degree. It costs your fucking soul to get a degree now. Not only did it cost you nothing to get a degree, but you get a degree back then and you got a job. That was the whole point of you getting a degree. That's a little different now. It's fucking hard to get a job. Degree or otherwise. I've been applying for jobs for the better part of like 6 months to try to do something to fund this podcast so we don't need to start an OnlyFans and get more viewers that way.
Oh, yeah.
I've gotten 0 emails back. Granted, 7 years of working as a YouTuber isn't great work experience, but you get my point, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure most people can relate to how ridiculous the job market is. So not only are college degrees more expensive, not only are you being paid less while trying to get that college degree, they are worthless if you are not an engineer or a law student or one of these things where it's like you can't even get a job without the degree sort of thing, which for the record is like 80% of people. 80% of people are not becoming an engineer that are in any given college, right?
Yeah.
Food's more expensive, all that. And then, brother, houses. Housing.
Yeah, that's just a pipe dream at this point.
My parents bought their 1-bedroom condo for $70,000 when they first moved to this country. And that was 90s, right? In the 90s. So full 35 years ago at this point. It's still not worth anything incredible, but 70 grand, you could get a 1-bedroom condo in the Arlington area, by the way, one of the most expensive areas you can live.
Arlington's spendy as hell. It's a rough spot to try and get a good place in for any kind of good price.
Rough spot? Brother, I saw this headline the other day. The average single-family home cost in Arlington just recently tipped what number, Andrew?
Single family home.
Average median single family home in Arlington specifically is now averaging out at what number?
Oh man, I would 1.7.
It's $1 million.
Yeah.
The average house, if you want anything that is not a townhome, a row house, a condo, whatever you want to call it, something with a yard that doesn't share a wall with somebody else's house, you are looking at not minimum $1 million. That's not what an average is, but you're probably spending $1 million on that house.
It's up there 100%.
That's insane.
Yeah,
That's
no,
insane.
it's ridiculous.
So it's like, you know, I find anybody who just sits and goes, millennials are spending too much money on their avocado toast. Because that's what Kevin O'Leary is doing here, is the avocado toast argument.
Yeah, he's doing the old avocado toast routine.
If millennials didn't spend so much of their money on avocado toast and Starbucks, then they'd be able to afford a house. I don't think that's true, brother. I ran these numbers just a second ago, but it's like, even if we do assume that lunch is costing $28, and you are making a sandwich for $4, you know, somehow you are surviving on 350 calories of processed carcinogen category 1 processed turkey and white bread, right?
Yeah.
We are talking, let's say you save $20 a day. Over the course of 100 days, that is $2,000? Is that right?
What was the math again?
100 days at $20 a day. It's 2,000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 365 days is going to be about $6,000 saved in a year.
Like that.
Which, by the way, let's not gloss over. You know, it's like if you went to somebody and went, "Hey, man, I'll give you $6,000 if you eat a sandwich for lunch every day for a year," just as like a would you rather sort of thing.
Yeah.
You'd be like, no. Like, it wouldn't kill me to eat a sandwich for lunch every day. But no Chipotle, no Taco Bell. $6,000? We're not even giving me a nice round $10,000 number?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What the
Come
fuck?
on.
No. I would gladly give up $6,000 to be able to have Chipotle, Taco Bell, McDonald's, Wingstop, or whatever, Burger King, to have the option. You know?
And the response is like, well, and there's your problem. That's $6,000 at the end of the year that you could have saved. And it's like, dude, I could save that for 15 years and still barely be able to find a house.
Exactly.
And by that point, I'm in my fucking 40s.
Not only are you in your 40s, but you have eaten a sandwich for lunch for 15 years.
Yeah.
I don't want to gloss over that.
That's not a life well lived.
What was the point? Oh, I get to have a front yard at age 55. All it cost me was eating a turkey sandwich every day monotonously for a decade and a half. Are you joking?
Yeah, and it's like, bro, it's so annoying that the generation where it's like, I don't want to hear your advice on these things when you won your house in a raffle.
You know who else?
I don't want to hear it, and it's so annoying because
you know who else won their house in a raffle? You know who else dropped their 2 cents on this concept of spending $28 on lunch?
Who?
Caleb Hammer.
I know that name.
You know the guy. Google him. Caleb Hammer. Drops in on this discussion talking about he's the financial audit guy. Just get a picture of what he looks like.
Yeah.
And this guy decided to weigh in and decide to go, yeah, man, millennials are spending too much on lunch. And immediately everybody on Twitter was like, I know you're not talking, Mr. Caleb Hammer.
I'm just taking a picture or a look at him
Mr.
here,
Platinum status. I bet you got DoorDash on your speed dial, motherfucker.
Yeah,
what are
top
you
10 DoorDash
What are you
Hall
talking about?
Shut up. It's so annoying, man. It's so annoying to hear a group of people who had America when the economy was good tell all of us right now when the economy is utter dog shit that we're not doing enough to live well, and like you guys had it so much better than all of us.
I had a deep internal resentment about being a YouTuber and content creating because, like, you have to understand, it felt, you know, the economy's shit. Nobody's being paid much. Everybody's trying to self-medicate with fast food and vapes and free
Weed.
activities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're doing what we can. But I was always like, should I finish college? Like, this sucks. I am not making enough money on YouTube. You know, I'm poking fucking Internet Historian with a stick like, come on, man, let's collab again. I need the juice.
Come on, bro.
You know?
Give me some juice.
For years and years. And it's like, you know, I'm very big weight off my shoulder sort of thing where it's like, oh, everybody's fucking struggling. Outside of the few friends that I've got that are proper engineers for like government contractors and stuff.
Yeah.
That are making six figures a year, almost nobody is. Vast majority of people are making between $30,000 and maybe $50,000 or $60,000 a year working a full-time job.
Yep.
And that's the sort of money that lets you rent an apartment, which, by the way, in this area is like $1,800 for a one-bedroom, right? $2,500 for a two-bedroom. What's $2,500? 25 grand? So like 30 grand a year on housing? On the high end of what I just said is average is 60 grand before taxes, 45 or 50 after taxes. You can't even qualify for an apartment making $60,000 a year if you want a two-bedroom.
Nope.
So we're already talking roommates. We're already talking maybe $400 at the end of the month if you never go on a vacation. You know, if you never need to fix your car, if you never need to change out your satellite dish or whatever the fuck. Brother, this is ridiculous.
It's very obnoxious having so much policy run by people who, again, had it so much better than we had it and are just kind of defending the 1,000 families that own everything in this country. And they're like, well, they were cool to us. And, you know, I shook my boss's hand, and that's how I became a general manager. So, like, that should work for you guys. And now you got to eat a turkey sandwich for 15 years in a row so that
maybe afford a down payment.
1,000 families in America can have their, you know, fifth yacht.
My mom told me that, like yesterday, by the way, took her to Home Depot because they got to replace one of the lights in her kitchen. And my mom was like, if you get a normal job and just work it for 30 years, like, they'll take care of you. You'll get a pension. You get a 401k. I was like, how do you even know what a pension is? Like, what? you haven't even had that in your lifetime. Are you crazy? What the fuck?
It's like, that's just not happening anymore whatsoever. Do you, like, the amount of stories of people that were like, this guy showed up every day for work for 27 years. And Burger King gave him a free Happy Meal, which is McDonald's, but I can't remember what the fucking Burger King meal is called. But it's like,
I don't know if they have a name for it.
You guys had that.
I might get Burger King
that
after this.
generation had 401ks, Social Security. They had bonus. Dude, the entire premise of Christmas Vacation is Chevy Chase bugging out and ending up kidnapping his boss because he didn't get a Christmas bonus. Christmas bonuses are barely a thing anymore.
Well, hold on now, Andrew. I got a $50 gift card religiously every Christmas at almost every job I worked at.
You know what? I'm sorry. I forgot about the $50 gift cards that people are so generously giving out these days. But it's like, legitimately, no one gets any of the benefits anybody got anymore. We're making the same amount as them, even though everything's double the price. Shit sucks.
I wish I had taken the time to pull up some of the economic articles that I was reading. I was watching a Tiffany Ferg video where she was talking about silent retiring or something like that. And she referred to one economist who wrote an article. And it was basically about the apathetic nature that millennials have towards working being a direct result of the lack of any of the, you know, you don't work because you want some amount of money. You work because the amount of money that you receive is supposed to then fund your life.
Yes.
You're supposed to have a place to live. You're supposed to be able to go and do things. there is no economy if all of the money that you have isn't being spent on food, vacations, blah, 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 whatever. And so a lot of millennials are looking at, well, why exactly am I working in a career for the next 10, 15 years if it looks like the money I'll be making from that isn't even going to let me buy a house, isn't going to let me coast to some degree, pay a little bit less because I don't need to do rent anymore, or 401k starts kicking me back and now I can go from 40 hours a week to 20 hours a week. My dad's like 70 something. He gets Social Security. He still works 5 days a week.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
My dad still runs his custom kitchens business. He's 62 this year.
Fuck.
I think.
So close.
So close. Yeah, but he still does that. My brother works with him now, but I mean, he's done that basically by himself for years, and he doesn't really have a retirement plan because a lot of people in that generation don't.
Yeah, dude. I don't understand.
For sure don't.
I don't understand what the plan. My dad's Social Security each month is like $700, which is cool. But my dad's HOA for the condo that he has lived in for the last 30 years is $500 a month. So where
Just
exactly
the HOA stuff?
The condo's paid off. They bought a very small piece of property that I grew up in, paid it off over 30 years, right? My dad's been working in retail for 40 years or whatever it's been at this point. Shouldn't that guy be taken care of? Shouldn't that guy not have to work anymore? 35 years selling radios at a Circuit City and then Best Buy and then, you know what I mean?
Well, I think personally that retirement is a stupid concept altogether. I think you should work until you physically can't work anymore.
Kevin O'Leary says in an interview with some streamer, it looks like, your closet is full of crap and you should start buying quality. Quote, my mother taught me don't buy crap. She used to only buy one Chanel jacket a year, but a really good one. When she died, there was a cat fight for her clothing amongst the women in my family because they're now vintage Chanels. Most people, if you look in their closet, it's full of crap you don't need. Don't buy the crap, buy the good stuff, and just buy less of it. How much do you think a Chanel jacket cost, Andrew?
I was just Googling Chanel jacket costs in like the 1950s probably.
You can go for now. They're definitely cheaper now for a Chanel jacket than they would have been in the 90s.
Between $200 and $300 in the 50s, which today works out to about $2,536.
Okay, actually, it's significantly less than what I was thinking. But a Chanel jacket right now goes for like 10 grand from the 2026 collection.
Exactly. So not only has Chanel gotten more expensive, the lady was already blowing $2,500 a year on one jacket.
Right.
She was basically buying a used Honda Civic every year.
But on the bright side, I don't know.
But on the bright side, everyone wanted her jackets when she died.
I imagine.
Cool. What the fuck, Kevin?
The reason you're poor is because you're not buying Chanel jackets, Andrew. The reason I can't afford a new car is because I've been doing the stupid thing of buying these great Into the AM t-shirt packs for $90 for 10 t-shirts or whatever it is. Instead, I should be buying Gucci Polo bust-down sweater vests.
Yeah, no, I should probably stop shopping at Walmart. And so, yeah, it's you got to blow a bag on your clothes and only eat turkey for lunch every day.
You will live with roommates.
Just in case anybody's
make
watching
the sandwich
and is like, fuck these guys. Like, you should have to work. And, no one's saying you shouldn't have to work. But, like...
I'm saying you shouldn't have to work.
These people... These rich motherfuckers want you to eat turkey sandwiches every day of your life for 20 years just so that you can own a house so that they can keep living the way they will. Like, what are we doing, man? Like, this shit sucks. Like, to the wall with all of them.
Keep in mind, in addition to turkey sandwiches for lunch every day for the next 15 years, if you want to be able to afford a down payment, you also don't ever get to have a Chanel jacket.
No.
Like... Kevin O'Leary's mom was buying a new one every year, and then it got inherited down every year. Like, that's an old woman, you know what I mean? You said the 50s. If she was 70 when she died, you're probably talking 10, 20, 30 Chanel jackets that are all vintage. that will now sell for more money than you will probably save eating sandwiches for lunch and dinner for the rest of your life.
Yup.
That guy was born as the son to this woman, is now a multi-billionaire from offering the weirdest fucking deals on Shark Tank, by the way. He always offered the weird deals.
Yeah.
Is telling you that your issue is that you are not $30 lunches. Which, by the way, where is he getting that number? $28 lunches?
I think he just pulled it out of his ass.
I worked this through with everything. I did a Chipotle bowl with guacamole. I did a full double quarter pounder meal from McDonald's with large fries and a large drink. I did a Cava meal. You know, I did a Red Lobster meal. Nothing's coming up to $28. You have to get an appetizer. You got to get an appetizer and an entree. You got to get 2 separate meals at McDonald's. You got to get 2 really Chipotle bowls to hit $30.
You got to go off the chain unless he's just being like everyone's fucking door dashing stuff. You're paying
what I think, and this is
$28 for, and honestly,
this is another one of the clouds that has popped up in this conversation is food delivery.
I won't even knock that. The upcharges that DoorDash hits you with, and then the fees and everything, dude, it is actually insane how much money you're losing out using the delivery apps. It's bonkers.
So what me and Andrew are saying basically is that we agree with Kevin O'Leary on everything he has ever said.
Yeah, no, I'm actually really in support of the K-Dog.
Given that some of this number might be coming from DoorDashing, from food delivery apps, I think people are starting to recognize this. But I want to try to put this into perspective because I feel like people shit on millennials too much. You know what I mean? They don't shit on boomers enough, and they shit on millennials too much. When Uber Eats, which was my primary DoorDashing food delivery app, I think it's an East Coast thing maybe. When Uber Eats first started, I was working as a salesman at the computer store. I must have been 20 years old, so this was 11 years ago, 10, 11 years ago, right?
Yeah.
It was great. It was so fucking good. Uber Eats used to do this thing where they wouldn't charge you a delivery fee if something was already being picked up at the restaurant. So at the top of the app, it would be free delivery on these places. There's already food being picked up there. It doesn't cost us anything.
Oh.
No extra fee to you. So I would just look through that. It used to be like Moby Dick's, you know, kebabs, McDonald's, whatever. Pick a thing, and I would have Uber credits. I would have Uber money that gets back every time, you know, every time you take an Uber thing. I was an Uber Platinum member because they count Uber Eats deliveries instead of just ride shares. And I got a 10% discount if my order was over $20. It would not be uncommon for me to be able to order $12 worth of food and have it delivered to me for $15 because it'd be $12 in food. I tip the guy $3 and then boom, everything's good. $15 on lunch delivered to me. And then as the second that my lunch break started, my food would be there. So basically I got the full half hour of I get to eat instead of I have to go get food and come back. That's the way it worked out in my head. Now, brother, go fuck yourself if you want to try to use Uber Eats or DoorDash. Not only are you looking at a minimum of $5 extra tacked onto whatever you're ordering. If your order is less than $15, you get a small order fee, $2. Your order's over $15, well, Uber adds 10% extra for delivery charges or whatever it is. You're always looking at an extra $3 to $5 of pay. But then on top of that, what these sneaky motherfuckers have started doing, and by started, I mean probably every year after that first year of making no money from free deliveries, is they will just artificially inflate the prices in the app that you're ordering from. When you buy them,
the upcharge is ridiculous.
And they don't tell you.
Nope.
I mean, there is like a little text that says prices may be cheaper in store, but it's like they're not telling you, hey, there's a $3 delivery fee added onto the food you're getting, right? They just say at the end, hey, it's going to be $3 extra for Uber. Remember to tip your guy. Your food is $26. What they don't tell you is that $26 in food, if you went to a store and bought it, would be like $18. Every sandwich, every French fry, every single thing you order through Uber Eats, through DoorDash is probably $1 to $4 more expensive than it would be in store.
Yeah, no, if me and Courtney get McDonald's delivered, and that's I'm not going crazy. I just do my little 2 cheeseburger meal, medium, nothing crazy.
What a callback. How many podcasts have we mentioned Andrew's $2 cheeseburger meal? That's a character.
Classic at this
it's a
point.
Character in the show now.
Yeah,
is the cheeseburger meal.
Cheeseburger meal is our boy. But that'll run us up in probably the high 30s, low 40s for both of us.
You're getting 4 cheeseburger meal, or Courtney also gets something similar?
Yeah, Courtney gets generally like the McCrispy meal or something like that. It'll be like mid to high 30s generally after everything.
With or without
through
tip?
there in store, including tip, like everything.
Sure.
Probably it tops out at around 40. If I run through the store, it's maybe $25.
Yeah. I know those numbers off the top of my head. I know exactly how much it is. Don't
let convenience keep you in a hole. I think that's it's what's so annoying, because at the heart of, I think, a lot of the sentiment, it is don't, just spend your money wisely. But I think the reason so many people get annoyed with it is because the way you say, like, don't spend $28 on lunch.
It's not even that.
It's like, bro, if there's no choice but to, if you do go to spend money on lunch, and 2, like, everything is just kind of designed at this point to be convenient, and then it's just got a lot of sneaky extra upcharges in there. And it's like legitimately every single aspect of all of this, from what we were just discussing with the shorts content, it's all designed to keep you locked in your room, spending a shit ton of money, looking at ads. That's what they want you to do. They want you eating turkey sandwiches every day for the rest of your life, working a bajillion hours, not having health care because that's communism, and scrolling on your phone and ordering food and paying way too much money for it. That's what they want you to do, and that's how they want you to die. Don't let it happen to you. Don't let it work. Fuck these people.
One of the most frustrating things about it is not just that the sentiment is wrong, in my opinion. The sentiment being just spend your money wisely is wrong. Because it's like, yeah, you should, but to bring that up in the conversation is to say that there is some way to spend your money that wouldn't result in you having no money. Yes. And that's wrong. My mom tells me, don't buy energy drinks. Don't buy coffee, just either make a $1 coffee at home or blah, blah, blah. You're spending $5 on energy drinks, getting 2 energy drinks a day or whatever, right? And I was like, what do you think that adds up to, huh? What do you think $5 a day adds up to? 365 days in the year times 5 is $1,500 a year. And my mom will be like, well, that's not no money. And it's like, just like I said with the sandwiches, don't just brush off going from being caffeinated, active, and being able to wake up quickly and do your work to being groggish all fucking day, right? You can't just remove something and be like, it has no effect on you. But B, my HOA has gone up $250 a month since I moved into this place 3 years ago.
Jesus Christ.
What does that add up to every year? That's more than $2,000. So even if I had decided to quit all drinks, coffee and energy drinks, cold turkey, for an entire year,
water.
It wouldn't even offset the price of my rent going up, which had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I could not have budgeted my way out of that. I could not have earned my way out of that. Kevin O'Leary's not going to argue with his HOA association to not up the price of whatever the fuck his thing is, because they had to fix the elevators more often or put out a fire, whatever the fuck it is that they do, clean the pools, right? It's like, that's the number, right? The fact that rent, when I moved into, right before COVID, I had to move out of the basement that I was living in because all of the roommates separated. I had to find my own place to stay, right?
Gotcha.
$1,500 a month right at the brink of COVID. Nobody was moving into anywhere. I found a 1-bedroom apartment. I was working a full-time engineering job / working at the computer store. I could handle $1,500 a month. I mean, I qualified for it with my girlfriend at the time, right? Because she put her name on the papers. But $1,500 a month, right?
Yeah.
Year 2, and this is the year following COVID's big COVIDing, 2021, I guess, they made a market adjustment. They were like, hey, we had promotional prices for everybody moving into the place because nobody was moving anywhere for COVID. We're adjusting for that. Price is going up. $1,700 a month. $200 more a month. $2 extra grand a year in rent. Right?
Yep.
I'm now paying $1,750 a month for the place that I live in, not including the $50 that I have to pay to have a parking spot there. They do the same thing the following year. $1,950 for the same one bedroom I've been living in for 2 years. I sent emails. I argued with them, moved out of the place because I had to. Couldn't afford $1,900, right? What are you going to do? It had nothing to do with me. I wasn't being lazy. I was working 2 jobs. I almost died from COVID and still kept the YouTube channel up and running.
Yeah.
And yet I got priced out of my thing based on
Just
did my lack of a college degree come into play here? Did I order too many DoorDashes? Is that why they raised my rent? Too much coffee. Too much coffee.
They saw
Andrew.
you chug-a-lugging the bean juice.
They saw me go into the mini mart on the ground
this
floor buying
motherfucker's
energy
rent.
drinks, and they were like, "That guy's got extra money. Raise his fucking
him.
rent."
Yeah, he's got extra money for coffee on the daily. Get his ass.
That's the
Dude,
frustrating
they did
thing.
that to us. That's why we ended up moving into a smaller place.
They do that to
'cause
everybody.
when we moved, me, Courtney, and Jared, our friend from film school, we moved up here. We found it was basically a trailer park, just the single wides. But it was a 3-bedroom, and it was like $1,600 or $1,700 a month. So split 3 ways, pretty
Nothing.
easy,
Yeah.
not too bad, pretty good deal. By the time we left, which was earlier this year, we moved in December or January in the middle of a snowstorm. That was really fun.
That's the best time to move, by the way. Move in the winter, you will get all the promotions when it comes to apartments.
It
You'll
is
get
the
months
best
free,
time.
you'll get discounts, but you got to move in the cold.
But you gotta, if you're in a northern state, it kind of sucks because, we were moving in legitimately the middle of a snowstorm. It sucked shit. And our car was broken down, so we didn't have that. We had to use,
Of course it was.
Courtney's studio's work van. Anyway, by the time we left that place, and it was 16 to 17, including the utilities and stuff, like all of those bills. By the time we left, I think we were going to be paying almost $2,500.
This is a
Almost
3-bedroom place?
3 bedrooms. Over the course of 3 or 4 years,
That's a $700 increase to your rent.
$700 a month increase to the rent.
Which, by the way,
A month.
you cannot make $700 eating sandwiches. Even if your lunch was legitimately $30 a day, you are not making $700 at the end of the month by switching to sandwiches.
No. You can't do it.
Well, maybe if all 3 of you were spending $30 on lunch.
Yeah, maybe. If we were all just, maybe not even $30 on if we were just eating grass.
Another one of these tweets is,
Wild berries.
imagine you eat nothing but American cheese on toast for a year straight, and then your landlord just raises the rent by $300 anyway.
Dude, exactly. Like,
That's exactly what we're
you
saying.
You could do what these ghouls are telling you to
You
do
can
for
eat
a
the
full
worm,
2 years.
you can
You'd
live
be
in the
like,
capsule.
I saved up. I'm almost ready to move out of this shitty place. And then your landlord's like, guess what, motherfucker? Extra $300 a month. And now your plans of moving out are moved by another 2, potentially 3 years.
Why were we so against Andrew Yang giving everybody $2,000 a month if we elected him president? Why were we so against that?
Because that is basically just a way for them to gut a lot of the other social programs. And so you kind of would end up with people like your middle class and upper middle class and then upper class. They're going to take that $2,000 a month right into savings immediately. And, they've already got all of their health care, all of that shit figured out. They're good to go. Lower class people, that money's just going straight back into the economy, which, some people would say that's a good thing, your economy's moving. But they're not going to be able to save any of that up, and they also don't have any of the social benefits that we used to have. So you're pretty much just putting people into the same exact spot, except the middle class and upper class are just going to grow this insane amount of extra wealth because they've just been able to save the $2,000 the whole time. Meanwhile, everybody else is still running the fucking rat race together.
It's like there's no good solutions. Another conversation that comes
Bernie,
up in the cloud of everything that we're in
boy.
is used car prices. Andrew, have you bought a lot of cars? Are you much of a car guy? Do you follow prices?
I'm not a car guy per se. I grew up around gearheads. My dad built his first car. It was like a 64 and a half technically, Mustang.
Ooh,
He
big block.
built it. Yeah, I don't think it was a big block, but I mean, it had some juice to it just because those old muscle cars did. But he did it with a kit. So my dad knew a little bit about like older cars. As soon as you get into computer stuff with like the newer ones, that was way above his pay grade. But so I knew a little bit about them, but I've definitely pretty much exclude this one. Me and Courtney got is the first new car I've ever bought from somewhere. Every other car I've owned has been a Craigslist purchase.
Yeah.
Or Facebook Marketplace.
The prices of new cars have just recently exceeded a median of, I think it was $50,000.
Jesus Christ.
Now, keep in mind, that's including all new cars. Arguably, you would think there would be more economy sedans in that, but due to a combination of electronics, COVID pricing, people just in America generally wanting bigger, fancier shit versus the little J cars and subcompacts that you see in more Western countries. Another one of the conversations that comes up with this whole millennials are bad with money thing is the prices of cars. They say that millennials are buying themselves, $40,000-$50,000 fully loaded, whatever the fucks, and are staring down the barrel of $1,000 a month car payment due to a combination of how much more expensive the cars are and how much higher the interest rates are on these things. The concept of getting a 0% APR on a car is just out the fucking window if you're not buying something that's $50,000, So even a cheap $20,000 car is costing you $30,000 in interest if you're going to finance this thing over 6, 7, 8 years, which is a more common loan term.
That's why you join the military, baby. Get yourself a brand new Camaro.
This one individual on Twitter has been arguing that you can still buy an affordable car. That millennials are just too quick to jump to a brand new fancy set of wheels than they are to settle for a Craigslist purchase, as it were. And this guy has linked, this was legit a 5-second search on Auto Trailer. All of these cars have less than 200,000 miles, and they're all under $7,000. Andrew, why would you not want this 2005 base Toyota Corolla with 170,000 miles for $5,000? Why would that be a bad deal? Why would you not want this 2002 Toyota Corolla with 140,000 miles?
Gearhead inclined, 170,000 miles is a lot of miles. It's a lot of wear and tear on your engine, your transmission, your axle, and pretty much everything, the car in general.
It doesn't bode well that the amount of money you spend to buy this thing is going to be the only money you're going to spend on this car in the first couple years of ownership. It's a 20-year-old car.
Yeah, but also, I mean, one of the big things with buying through Craigslist is that you kind of have to find something immediately in your price range.
Yep.
Like, because, I mean, with newer stuff, I mean, and I assume that's why a lot of millennials are doing it, is because you can finance them and only spend $400 a month, which is exactly why me and Courtney went with something newer this time, is because we could finance it and actually afford it. Because the other CRV that we did pay $9K up front for off of Facebook Marketplace, we loved that thing. Something went up with it. We had it in a garage for fucking 4 months. And then the first night I had it back, I was driving home from work at like 12:30 in the morning. And I heard a clunk, and the whole thing just died. And
as a Honda guy, I can tell you that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign.
Speaking
they don't typically
as Honda
do that.
guys, that's not a good sign. Just for the other, maybe people who aren't Honda guys, that's not a good sign. But
I don't know if it's different with Kias, but
straight through the oil pan. So that was done, and we were like, we don't have $3,000 to drop on a car right now. We're literally in the middle of a move.
We're spending $30 a day on lunch. How are we going to afford a car?
Exactly.
He says.
I can't afford a car. We've been spending $28.73 every day on lunch.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it legitimately, like I said, everything is set up to keep you in some kind of subscription.
I
Streaming
don't
services.
I don't even know.
strictly set up so that you don't own anything.
Yeah, I'm
You
worried
never
about my.
own anything now.
I've
paid
I forgot to talk.
$400, maybe thousands of dollars on subscription services.
No, video
and if
games
all
too
of
now.
them ended. If all of them went away right now, you're starting from scratch. You got to
Yeah.
start getting Blu-rays and DVDs again.
They're doing that with Xbox or
Yep.
Sony video games. They've
Yep.
straight up said
Digital.
whatever money that you spend, you do not own this shit if we decide that you do not.
Yeah.
They removed. I'm not going to be able to find it, so I don't even know if I want to talk about it. But they removed somebody's ability to be able to play a video game he bought 10 years ago because he bought it before they had their modern. He was like one of the first dudes to digitally buy a game, I guess, and now he can't play it because on the new PS5 it's not a compatible whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
So that-
what happens if fucking a property switches, exclusivity with something? Like all of a sudden something that was on Sony that you bought years ago is now an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
And now they're like, guess what? You don't own that shit anymore. Dumbass.
I bought my Honda Fit, 2013 Honda Fit, fully loaded.
Fully low, like Herbie.
It had like 99,000 miles on it. For I think 9.5 before taxes. Everything said and done, like 10.5, $10,500 for 99,000 miles on a 2013 Honda Fit. This is a compact car. Granted, it's fully loaded. Maybe you could find cheaper ones, even less than that. These guys are quoting a 2013, same year, base Toyota Corolla, a little bit bigger. It's a Toyota. They hold their value better. 150,000 miles for $9,000.
That's ridiculous. And I mean,
What
speaking
are you
as someone
talking about?
Honda Civics, Nissan Altimas, Toyota Corollas, those cars will last you a long fucking time. Like the amount of people I knew with just absolute beaters of 96 hatchback Civics, classic,
Yeah.
with 270 some thousand miles on it, and them things were still trucking. You can get a lot of good use out of them, but $9,000 for 150,000 miles is
The big
stupid.
thing. The big thing is that, this is one of those things that you can only suggest to people online, where you're not going to get slapped in the face,
Yeah,
slash
exactly.
a phone call in the middle of the night. Hey, my car's falling apart. You said this was a good idea. $9,000 on a lease will give you 3 years of a brand new car with better gas mileage. That's like you definitely will not need to spend a penny more on to fix, repair, or whatever. This $9,000 that you're spending to own this thing, if this thing breaks in the next 30,000 miles, which if it's being sold on Craigslist as an old, nobody gets rid of an old Toyota. Do you understand how crazy these are? Unless you don't have the garage space, you're keeping that car to give to your kid. You're driving that when the other one's in the shop. You're not getting rid of an old Toyota.
Yeah.
The only people who get rid of an old Corolla are people who are like, yep, I'm not fucking fixing that again. So you're not in the best position for these things.
Also, the reason that car prices are continuing to go up and up and up and up is because we don't have any competition here, and Ford, Chevy, and Dodge have made very sure
and
to
who?
lobby. Ford, Chevy, and Dodge, the big American three, have done a lot of lobbying to make sure that you can't buy cheaper, better cars, because if they allowed China and Japan to send over, their electric stuff or the Toyota Hilux,
God forbid.
it's over. It's over for every American brand because they run better. They do. Dude, the Toyota Hilux is, for the people who don't know, anytime you've seen some Arab dudes just, bugging out in the desert with something that looks like it should have been falling apart years ago, but it's held on by Allah and duct tape. That's the
their
Toyota
pickup- their
Hilux,
pickup.
baby. Yeah, that's the Toyota Hilux. That thing will run through hell and back.
Right.
It's incredible. But we can't buy it because Dodge and Ford and them were like, but we want people to buy the F-350 Raptor.
A brand new Honda CR-V hybrid will run you like $40,000 right now. A 2026, $35,000, $40,000, depending on if you get the high-end trims or whatever. Those things, I'm pretty sure my Honda Fit brand new was under $20,000.
Yeah.
Completely different car, to be fair. It's not a hybrid. It's not an SUV, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, the anticipation of what a economy commuter car is even more is ridiculous. You used to be able to buy a $10,000 as a budget for a used car used to get you like a fully loaded, you could get an old Mercedes. You could get a fully loaded Acura Lexus for $10,000 on the used market. And now $10,000 is barely buying you a 10-year-old Toyota that's got less than 150,000 miles. This is not, I don't think eating sandwiches is going to fix this, Andrew. I don't know how many I got to eat to be able to afford something that's got more than 3 wheels, but it's killing me.
The original, so this is like '04. I was just looking for early 2000s. Honda Civic sedan, so not like a hatchback, was anywhere from 13 to 20,000
for a brand new Honda
so
Civic.
What is that?
Which would last you until the year 3005. A brand new Civic right now, I think, is almost
25K.
Yeah, I was gonna say 28.
Yeah.
I always only look at the fully loaded models because I always want the nice sunroofs.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So honestly, I mean, well, I guess from like the lower end, that's almost a 10K price jump, but that's not as bad as some of the other ones. And I mean, again, that's a Japanese car.
That's not even it's the Japanese car. It's the Japanese car
the
that
GOAT.
doesn't have to pay the imports. That's the cheapest of the Japanese cars you're getting because they have those deals with us. Holy shit, it's the worst. Kevin O'Leary, give me some money, Kevin O'Leary. Come on the podcast, Kevin O'Leary.
Suck my dick.
Come on, Kevin O'Leary. Caleb Hammer, come make some sandwiches us. Come make some sandwiches with us on the podcast.
Sandwich, bitch. I'll tell you what, I'll do that if you make one for me every day.
I was watching one of my favorite League of Legends streamers by the name of Rat IRL.
Rat
Anton.
IRL.
This is an individual who plays the Rat champion by the name of Twitch in League of Legends. He grew to prominence maybe 8 or 9 years ago by being one of 4 or 5 characters in Europe, EU West, we call it, because that's what the server is called for League of Legends, who founded a sort of notorious clan by the name of L9, stands for Low 9. And these are basically relatively high talented players that would just be trolling in their games. If anybody played even a tiny bit subpar, they would intentionally start dying. They would be flaming them, typing XD, XD in chat, while purposefully making the game miserable for these individuals. It grew to become a very, they would get their accounts banned. They would make new ones. They'd have to change their names and all this stuff. There's a big era of L9 in League of Legends that was basically just these 4 or 5 big dudes that were just very toxic, very aggressive, very game ruining in their games. It launched a bit of a subculture in the League community. A lot of people would put L9 in their name just as a thing. Anyway, bit of backstory. He has since reformed, as have most of the L9 boys, as more of a mature content creator, has denounced those old ways, and now just kind of streams, having fun, making jokes. He's from Sweden. I like the way his voice sounds. You know how Swedish people got that accent? They'll say champion names a little differently to you. I like that. Plus, I play the Rat, so, watching the best Rat in the world feels like a good use of my time. He's doing a subathon. Maybe 4 months ago. This guy very notoriously owns a Lamborghini. He's a relatively big streamer, I think 400,000 followers, but he does subathons pretty frequently, so he milks a lot of money. He streams a lot. He has a big fan base. He makes an honest living as a streamer. He's making money, right? In this subathon, now it's not uncommon for Mr. Rat IRL to disappear in the middle of a subathon. There's already been jokes of him doing subathons just because he wants another Lamborghini. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
The subathon stops one day. He doesn't do these subathons where he streams every day. He does these subathons where he's streaming 24 hours. The stream does not end. When he goes to bed, he just does like an AFK screen. But the subathon stops, and we hear nothing from him. For like weeks. It becomes months. Nothing on Discord, nothing on Twitter. This dude's not like the most active in the community or whatever. He kind of stays in his own lane and hangs out with people when there's like big league news or whatever, but he says nothing. Where the fuck is the Rat? He had like 2 weeks left on the subathon. He was getting thousands and thousands of subscribers. Why cut it off?
He's being quiet as a damn mouse.
People are making jokes about him getting kidnapped. At some point, maybe a month ago, he posts an update on his Discord where he says, guys, I didn't get kidnapped. Relax. Just some home stuff. We figure cool. He didn't get kidnapped. Maybe he just wanted to take a bag and leave. Whatever. You know, if you give money to a streamer, you already wasted your money. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
4 months later, he posts a video to his YouTube channel. He got home invaded in the middle of his live stream, or while he was live streaming in Sweden. He lives in a house with his parents. 4 armed men broke into his house.
What the fuck? He got invaded by the Swedish house mafia?
Don't
you want, child?
They found his home address based on his business tax filings or whatever as a streamer.
Bruh.
And they figured because he had claimed $2 million in income over the course of his streaming career, and probably because they had seen him, you know, with his Lamborghini or what have you, figured he was a target for somebody they could extort cryptocurrency out of, because this is something that cannot be tracked. So, you know, you steal money, you got to get rid of the money. You steal crypto, police can't even follow you.
Yeah, no, it's in the ether.
They break into his house. They tie
Which is
up
why
him.
they wanted to make it so popular, by the way. There's a bunch of rich people who wanted a bunch of money that they couldn't trace or track.
Exactly. They break into his house. They tie up him and his parents.
Oh, my God.
They've got a gun to his head. They've got knives to his stomach. For 4 hours.
And a bat to his penis.
They are beating this dude with their guns.
Oh.
They are breaking his fingers by bending them backwards.
Oh, my God.
For 4 hours, until eventually they figure this guy does not have cryptocurrency, which he doesn't. He doesn't really invest in crypto at all. They give up, and they leave. He manages...
Yo, sorry about this, bro. That's our bad. That's actually our bad. We'll leave you alone now.
He managed... So this is all alleged based on his first person telling in this video he released. So, I mean, you know, trust him as much as you're going to. He tells them to please leave his computer and his ID because he doesn't want to have to just rebuy those things. And they're like, whatever. They don't take his Lamborghini because it wasn't garaged at his house, thankfully. So it wasn't there. So they couldn't run off with the car. They do steal all of his Pokemon cards, which he has a lot of. And is probably the main thing that he even spends any money on, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, that sucks.
But A, that's crazy. B, that's
pretty wild. Jesus Christ. Why does that happen to random people? Why doesn't that happen to Logan Paul?
It seems like such a random guy, right? It seems like such a random guy.
Yeah, why are we going after the rat? Why can't we go after the real rat?
Here's a picture of his arm.
Oh, my God.
A month after the
holy
endeavor.
Shit is right, zombie fan.
Which is crazy. Is crazy. Right.
Honestly, it kind of looks like they gave him like just the worst Indian burn of all time.
Exactly. But when you think about this being bruises from like being beaten with the butt of a rifle or whatever it was, it's pretty crazy. Anyway, just crazy fucking news. Just weird, crazy fucking news.
Yeah, that's insane. I did not expect that plot twist.
Dude, I didn't either. I saw him post that video on his main channel after not posting for several months, and I was like, okay, what sob story are we going to make up for why you decided to end the subathon that we all paid to keep you going? And he was like,
What's it this time, dude?
He was like, bit of a home invasion, gamers.
I may never game again. My fingers were all broken and splintered.
But yeah, that's a crazy fucking thing that happened that I thought I would mention. People online are being relatively weird about this. There's a lot
as they always are.
There's a lot of people that are very anti-Rat IRL just because he was such a toxic player back in the day that they never watched him go through his redemption arc of just sort of being a chill dude now.
You made me angry on a game back in 2015, so I think your fingers deserve to be broken.
Which is fair. And to be fair,
Yeah, I mean,
what
it
you're
is-
saying
that's
is
a fair-
kind of what we're seeing online. I'm
Oh
seeing
no,
comments.
I could have completely guessed that. It's just like you were toxic a while ago, so you and your family deserve permanent trauma.
It might be because Anton Rat IRL is a very casual, happy-go-lucky individual. He doesn't really rage at anything. His streams are very fun to watch because he's very well-mannered. He's funny. He's funny, basically. He's very lighthearted and funny in a game that is otherwise very stress-inducing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bit of a breath of fresh air sort of thing. Because of that, a lot of the comments, outside of people just being rude for the sake of being mean on the internet, as they will do, are doing the meme of making light of this very serious situation by, like, comparing it to League of Legends terms and what have you. And
Bro, your mid got rushed, dude. They rushed your mid.
the pinned comment on his video explaining everything, explanation starts at 7 minutes. TLDR, robbed by 3 guys at gunpoint. Sorry, it was 3 people. TLDR in league terms, camped bot again while jungle and mid AFK, which is it's a meme from his stream, which is like, oh my god, nobody's fucking helping me and I'm just getting railed in bot lane. And it's like, it's that, but IRL. It's literally Rat IRL. Someone in chat wrote, low elo robbers, I can't. Insurance company entering Super Saiyan mode within 2 nanoseconds of hearing that the Lamborghini might have been stolen. They poured
quick.
gasoline on him. They covered him in gasoline to, like, threaten to light him on fire and shit.
What the fuck?
One of the top comments, dude said they poured gasoline on him and they were nice within 30 seconds of each other. He was saying they were nice enough to not take my computer and my ID is the context of that.
That's a very Swedish thing to do, I feel like.
Robbed at gunpoint. First thing he says about it, you will never believe it. It was so troll, dude. which is like how you describe a funny league game. It's like, it was such a troll game, dude.
They really trolled me.
What else we got?
Yeah, no, having all your fingers broken and getting gasoline dumped on you is a pretty good troll, I can't lie. That's good prank.
Crazy.
That's good
crazy.
Prank.
The funny thing about them trying to hunt him down for crypto is that earlier in his subathon, so maybe 6 months ago, there's a streamer by the name of Yamato, who I've done a video of talking about some of the pirate software drama. He was part of the WoW clan that they were all in, OnlyFans.
Gotcha.
Yamato is a crypto bro. He makes a
Nice.
lot of money by doing online, who even knows. Some of it's streaming, but he basically
Scams.
left streaming because he felt too much stress after all the extra attention he got from being in the OnlyFans guild and getting all these new eyes and what have you. At one point, Yamato decides to do a cryptocurrency related advertisement. He wasn't exactly pumping and dumping something. It was one of these things where he streamed on an alternative website, and that website would pay him a ton of their crypto coin that viewers could also obtain for free by watching him for a certain amount of time, but could also buy the coin if they wanted to. A lot of convoluted shit around saying it was basically a crypto scam, but like, it technically, on the most technical level, it wasn't a rug pull, whatever, right? Yamato gets a lot of flack for this. A lot of people just see the word crypto and go, oh my god, we knew you were a fucking loser who was bad at the game, but at least you were a loser who was bad at the game and didn't shell cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
And he, of course, maybe earnestly, maybe just trying to beat around the bush, was like, guys, it's not a crypto pull, it's not a pump and dump. I didn't make a Yamato coin or anything. I did one stream on one website. They gave me a bag. All you guys had to do was watch my stream over there. You didn't have to buy the coin. You got some of the coin for free by watching, blah, 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 all this. So the meme of Yamato coin became a thing, because Yamato would proceed to not stream anymore, give or take, after this, because of the backlash from that. And just not really wanting to apologize. He had a bunch of streams with like Dantes and a bunch of other league content creators trying to convince him to come back to streaming and give it another chance. And he gave it a whole bunch of, I just don't like it anymore. It's not fun. What is even the point? I want to get a real job. I want to wash dishes. It was a whole arc. So a lot of people in the comments of this Rat IRL situation have been along the lines of, bro, they wanted your Yamato coin. You were lying about not buying Yamato coin. They knew you were lying about not wanting Yamato coin, and they knew you had more fucking Yamato coin than even Yamato himself.
So he just has it. He was just. Wait a minute.
So
Who owned all the Yamato coin?
Yamato coin is not a real thing. It is a meme that was made up by his community for being affiliated with this crypto thing that he did.
Okay.
But people are making the joke that, like, oh, they wanted crypto? They must have heard you had Yamato coin.
Okay.
That's the comments under this.
Okay.
So Rat basically smurfed and face-tanked 3 robbers, gave them the middle finger and some Pokemon cards so they weren't too sad when leaving. Oh, my God.
That's wild, man. Jesus Christ. It's insane that you can just be streaming and then
It's not.
get your fingers broke over some Pokemon cards.
I think some people have actually died from swatting, if I'm not mistaken. But
I'm pretty sure.
If not, which I'm pretty sure, but if not, this might be the worst case of live streamers' house address gets leaked to some consequence I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard of anybody getting the full, like, James Bond torture scene treatment. That's actually insane.
Imagine robbing a millionaire looking for internet money and leaving with cardboard from the 1990s.
Yeah, man, like, good God. I mean, that's just crazy. I don't even know, like, can you sell the Pokemon cards at that point? Like, he's obviously more than likely got, like, a list of his stuff somewhere. So, like, I feel
they
like
can
they'd
probably
be able to
sell the
eventually
Pokemon
track him
cards.
down.
They can probably sell the Pokemon cards, you know, just as a bundle, or like just pick out the rare ones and sell them. You know, these are robbers in Sweden. They just sell them overseas to somewhere in America. They'll probably be just fine.
That's true.
But it's like, you know, there's a lot of shit going on here, right? The dude's bruised up. You know, you can anticipate something serious happened from the substantial hiatus that he had. Some people are not convinced to varying degrees. Some people are like, he wasn't tortured, he's making all this up. Some people are like, he's doing this for attention. Some people are just being a little cautious of, like, they know you're a millionaire. $2 million as a streamer? I mean, they knew that your Pokemon cards were worth money, so these aren't 70-year-old boomers that have no idea what's worth anything. If they couldn't get the crypto out of you, surely they would have taken your PC or something.
Yeah.
But maybe they knew. Because it is possible Rat IRL does seem like the sort of individual that outside of buying the Lamborghini doesn't exactly flex his money with anything, really. He still lives with his parents in Sweden, hasn't moved to LA. You know, aside from the car, the only thing he really does on stream is open Pokemon cards and play League of Legends. So, you know,
he got kicked out. You think his parents were like, bro?
Well, I don't think his parents
I'm not
live.
getting my ass tied up and beat up again over this.
I don't think he lives with his parents as much as his parents live with him. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because he's the millionaire. You know what I mean? So
I guess
I
that
think
makes
it's just
sense.
a Swedish family, you know, close ties sort of thing.
Maybe, I mean, I guess at that point I would probably be like, all right, you guys are gonna go have your own spot.
Ganked by Graves.
I gotta keep my family safe. This shit's getting a little brazy.
No, it makes you. I mean, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder because I don't think you can own a gun in Sweden. I think that's a no-gun area.
I was wondering. I was like, wait, armed.
So these are serious
they,
criminals, basically.
Yeah, so these are like serious dudes that manage. You know, they like got the illegal equipment and everything.
But it's
geared
not.
up.
It's not like he can get a gun and be like, okay, I'm safe here.
Yeah.
I don't know how confident he is in Swedish police and is just hoping they track these guys down, or if that's already been done. Remember, this 4-month hiatus must have happened 4 months ago. The reason he's so jokey and lighthearted about it is because it's been a few months for him to process everything. Whatever. In my opinion, that's the only reason anybody's making as many jokes is because he seems chill enough with it to be making jokes that we're all okay. I guess we get to make jokes about this sort of thing. But it's like, yeah, I mean, you got to move.
No,
right?
Absolutely, you got to move.
I think you got to move.
You got to move, and you got to make sure that that information does not get out ever again.
Because it's like, on one hand, it's like you got to move. On the other hand, it's like, what are they going to do? Try to rob you a second time? They already know you don't have crypto. You know?
Quoted man who was robbed second time.
Guy at his second rodeo. This ain't my first rodeo.
This ain't my first damn rodeo.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's one of the reasons I very much worry about having like a really expensive car. Is A, giving up all the turkey sandwiches I love to eat for lunch every day.
Yeah, no, I've kind of become, close to my turkey sandwiches.
That's
I
the only way I need.
Forward to it every day.
Honestly, the hallmark of the Lamborghini is being able to have the privilege of eating a turkey sandwich every day. That's the really cool part. The car is whatever.
Flex of money. It's not a flex of money or like status.
The car is the trophy to emphasize the accomplishment of the sandwiches every day.
Yeah, it's getting put up on the burger wall for eating, a restaurant's 10-pound burger. It's look how many sandwiches I ate. You have not eaten this many sandwiches. I am better than you.
In my apartment building, there are a few Mercedes S-Class sedans, older ones, not $150,000 brand new ones, but like $60,000, $70,000 cars that are like maybe 10 years old at this point. I see brand new Acuras, I see brand new Lexuses, and it's like, you live in this is a condo. You don't even own a home. You're spending $80,000 on a car that you don't even get to put in a garage? That's going to get scratched up by kids playing soccer and shit that aren't even your kids?
Yeah,
Shouldn't the priorities be a little different?
Gotten like us outside of being insanely wealthy, so that buying an expensive car is pretty much like me buying something like that. I've never really understood buying something way outside of your league as far as cars go, because cars are already money pits.
Yeah,
but having a big flashy thing that's like just putting eyes on you to get fucked with, it's just not something I'm looking to do.
Exactly. I worry about it. I see videos of like, I think it's San Diego, where people are just smashing in car windows like with no restraint. Just all of them. Just smashing them in. That fucking Seth Rogen tweet where he was like, somebody was saying LA's a shithole because their car got broken into.
Casey Neistat, I think.
Yeah, and then Seth Rogen was like, "Dude, I've had my car broken into like 13 times, man. It's just part of the culture, man. I don't see my car as an extension of myself. I'm not personally attacked by that. It's just a thing that happens." And it's like, between that and seeing the amount of like radar, brand new CRVs will have the radar detector right behind the Honda logo, so people just yank it off. My buddy just had his brand new Honda Accord. He got fucking cinder blocked in an apartment building. They took the wheels off his car in an apartment building. They caught the guys on camera and still couldn't do anything about it. Like, and that's a Honda Accord.
Yeah,
this guy's getting cinder blocked over wheels that probably cost $4,000, $5,000 with the tires. Like, the idea that your car could cost $70,000, brother, I'd be scared to drive it.
Yeah,
I'd be scared to park it.
I'd be so terrified all the time. It's
I don't
so
understand.
much more stress-free. There's a carefreeness in driving just a beater.
Yeah. Driving my Honda Fit is the best, because the worst thing that could happen is still going to be at most $1,000 out of pocket.
Yeah.
If the engine falls out, it's like, fuck, I got to spend $800 on a new engine. Like, what? There's nothing to worry about in that car. But first of all, buy a Honda, buy an older car. But secondly, if you're going to buy a $60,000 car, please get a garage. I don't understand this. Have a nice, safe house for your very expensive vehicle.
Yeah. I think generally speaking, your car should not be a more valuable asset than your abode.
If your car costs more than all of your organs combined, you should maybe strongly consider whether or not you're going to have to make that trade one day if something happens to the car.
Yeah.
That being said, if something happens to your organs, you could sell the car. So maybe it's 50-50.
So, yeah, no, it's, it's
honestly
an investment. And, maybe it just has, now you've got, well, actually, no, because as we all, cars are an immediately depreciating asset.
Immediately.
As soon as you drive that shit off the lot, it's half of what it was gone for.
I would argue we should stop calling them assets. If you call a car a tool, all the numbers make a lot more sense.
Way more sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got. You got any closing thoughts here, Andrew?
Nah, pretty much just fuck the elites.
Fuck the elites. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe so you don't miss new episodes of the SHPODcast on YouTube. Video version is available on YouTube and Spotify as always. Audio versions are available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Remember to rate us 5 stars. Bonus episode is available on Patreon along with this upload and all the rest of them. Only $5 a month. You will help me and Andrew buy a brand new Ford
Fiesta.
Shelby Mustang. Do they even make Shelbys anymore?
No, I think those went out. I'm pretty sure they stopped that a long while ago.
All right, we'll try to buy an old Shelby Cobra. That'll be cool.
Yeah, no, that'll definitely not be a couple million.
The SHPODcast. Okay, fine. What can we get? Like an old...
SHPODcast. No, I'm down. The
Could we
SHPODcast
get...
Shelby Cobra. Give me the one that they made for Bill Cosby.
Can we build one? Could we get like an old Ford GT and put a Corvette engine in it? Would that be close enough?
I think you may have just killed like 15 gearheads listening to the podcast.
Is that not a thing we could do?
They just clutched their chests.
Would that not be close enough? Well, whatever. We'll settle for the Fiesta. Thanks for watching, boys. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Always said that Charlie Kirk was a Nazi, then they celebrated